our 1964 Barons. The progress that has been made in Birmingham, and so I just traveled around the country to interview these guys, and now we have a book, and now we've all come together in Birmingham and to see this incredible new ballpark.
What's it like to be together again, to see these guys again?
Well, it's great to be here to see these guys again. It's been like 49 years, and a lot of guys didn't make it to 49 years, but it's good to be back and you know, see these guys and reminisce how we played and what a great city this was, especially for me starting out in baseball. Birmingham, we had great fans here, and I can't say enough about them, and I'm just so happy to be back here.
Just your feelings on seeing the new ballpark. What was your first impression?
Well, it's nothing like the park that I played in. This is actually a major league ballpark, and the guys that play in AA now, they don't know how good they have it to play in a park like this, and I wish I could have. When I played in a decent ballpark, it was Kansas City, and these guys got it now, so once they get to the major leagues, it's nothing new.
1947, Jackie Robinson broke the color line. You guys played in '64 in Birmingham, Alabama, and this is the first integrated team. Were you guys aware of the significance of what was going on when you were playing for Birmingham back then?
Well, I'll let Boone or Tommie. I think it would be more appropriate them to answer, but I think we were just, whatever, 20 guys, 20 young men. We wanted to play baseball. We didn't care if it was Rickwood Field or a Sandlot. And I think if we were, of course, aware of it, but, you know, our interests were whether black, white, yellow, or green. We wanted to play ball. We wanted to win. And we almost did it here. But I think Moon and Tommie, it was more significant.
From my perspective, I didn't want to come to Rickwood. It wasn't because of Birmingham. I was at the big league club. I said, you know, I should go to AAA. That's why I was just thinking to go. So when I came down here, my main thing was to try to have a good year to get back to the big leagues. And I had a guy tell me, Bill Posdale was our minor league pitching coach. He had told me in spring training, my first year, he says, you know, if you got to start hitting, you got to knock you down. But when I came down here, I didn't realize I was getting knocked down as much as I did. Because the thing is, some guy knock you down to see how you react. If they throw a pitch up and in, like he's talking about, and then you start getting away from the plate, you're scared. Well, everybody knows about it. Gets around the league. The first time you go up to hit, they're going to throw one up and in and see what you do. You back out, and they have all the rest of the plate. So what happens down in the big leagues, if you come up and in a guy, he's ready to go to the mound. Or if you come up and in, the umpire will warn the guy. And before he says, oh, go ahead and do it. If you hit me inside, we know what you're throwing. If you hit him, then you go retaliate, just try to knock the shortstop or second baseman out. He didn't go to the mound. He got on first base, and he got second, and we got shortstop. They would go out there and stop all the knockdown pitches. So you didn't have to worry about the umpire or the manager or anything. So you took care of it right that way. So that's one of the things. But playing in Birmingham, had no problems.
When these players were here in 1964, there were no black policemen on the Birmingham police force. There were no black tellers in the banks. And now I think, I'm not sure the exact number, I think it's like 80% of the Birmingham police force is a minority. So, I mean, that is an incredible improvement. And so Birmingham racially has just come miles, and I think this team, even though I don't think they understood or was the significance of they did, because they were not only the first integrated team, but they were the first integrated basically anything. And they proved, because of the success they had with each other, and the success they had on the field, and then the stadium and the fans, its first integrated fans, and so it was a model for what Birmingham could do, not only Birmingham, but for the whole South and for the rest of the country. And so I think that was really the impact of this team.
What is it about baseball or sports in general that makes it a venue for racial issues or social issues to make an appearance? What do you say?
I was in the military. I was in the military 3 years. And we were getting prepared to fight for our country. Something happened. And somebody had your back all the time. That's the same way with baseball. It's like a war out there. You're one team against the other team. So you stick together. You don't go for an individual thing. And sometimes you get that, but it's about the whole unit. And if the unit succeeds, and we can protect the country, or we can protect our city and our team. So that's the biggest thing to me, is that it's like the military. You're fighting against everybody else.
You mentioned that you were with the Major League camp and wanted to go to AAA. Did they send you two guys here especially because they knew you were going to play well? Was it important to have two black players who would play well as the first ones that came here, instead of two that would sit on the bench?
Well, he came out of a high school.
Yeah, but he had a reputation.
Yeah, and Finley, I guess from what I hear, he was going to get the best team he could. You know, and I think another thing was he was going to get somebody that's come down here and play and not react to a lot of things that they were going to be thrown their way. You know, because I'll tell you what, not from my experience in the military, I don't know if I could have survived with some of the things that happened. Birmingham was the only city, I think, the only time I got some vibes from them were, I started out bad, I started out slow. They said, send them back again in the city. But I didn't hear anything else, but on the other cities, I heard a lot of things. And I had to grit my teeth and just go ahead and do, play my best to get out of this situation.
Yeah, 1 minute. I think with that team, the makeup of it, and how maybe our team was selected, the key person on that team, unfortunately, is not with us, but that's Haywood Sullivan. You know, he was a native Alabaman and right down the road, and he was one, and when you get a chance to read the book, and I've read it from cover to cover, a few of us have, that the calming force with that team was Haywood, and I think when Finley picked him to be the manager, he knew he had the right guy that could deal with all the adversity we all had to face, and especially moving Tommie and camping, etc. So we need to give a big part of the credit to that team to Haywood.
I knew Haywood Sullivan. He did a terrific job with the players and stuff like that. And for myself, I signed out of high school to come here, and pretty much I was very nervous because I never played against any race but my own. And I signed this contract, and now I'm playing ball with Mexican guys, white guys, the Cubans and stuff like that. And I was nerve-wracking. And Haywood Sullivan, he knew how to handle us and everything. You heard a lot in the ballpark, the name call it, stuff like that. But you let that go because you knew you was here to do a job, just play baseball. And that's what we did. We had 22 guys, and once we was on the field, I don't think the ball club saw any color at all. We played together, won together, and fortunately, we went to the major leagues and played good together and got out of this environment. But it's a lesson everyone should have experienced at one time, and I'm glad I got that chance to experience that. And I think it's, right now, these kids out there playing now need to go through what we went through, and they'll know the game a lot better.
I'd just like to add a little something that experience that I had, and that was that we knew about the segregation. We knew about the right field section down the Brickwood Field, and that had been where all the black African American fans would sit, and there was a barrier that was put up where they couldn't go anyplace else, and Mr. Belcher tore it down. And so that allowed the fans to sit wherever they want. And I remember going down there and telling the fans, hey, why don't you guys come up? We got plenty of room because we weren't drawing that many to begin. Come on up, sit behind our dugout. And gradually we started drawing because we had good teams. But along with Haywood Sullivan, Mr. Belcher played a strong role. He was under a tremendous amount of pressure. We never knew how much pressure he was really under. In fact, until reading this book that we found out about the bomb scare, I think it was on opening day. Is that right, Larry?
Yes, right.
So he deserved a lot of credit.
In 1964, he hit .313 with a team-leading 19 home runs and 78 RBIs. He hit 3 home runs twice within a 10-day span during the '64 season. His 9 RBIs in a single game is still a Birmingham Barons record. He played a total of 13 seasons, including 8 in the major leagues. In 1987, he was the only black full-time manager in minor league baseball. He coached in the big leagues for 6 seasons. And ex-Baron Tony LaRosa. He now resides in Bainbridge, Georgia, with his wife Penny, whom he married at the county courthouse here in Birmingham during the '64 season. Please welcome outfielder Tommie Reynolds.